Hi, I'm Stephanie King. I'm a local real estate agent here in Frisco. If you're considering a move here, I know you're already thinking about what are the schools like? What are Frisco ISD schools like? And are Frisco ISD schools the only schools in this district? And the answer is no. Today I'm going to walk you through the information that I give to my clients when they ask me what are the best schools that I can send my kids to in the Frisco district or in the area. Now, as a real estate agent, the Texas Real Estate Commission does not allow us to give our opinions on which schools that we think your child should go to. So instead of doing that, I like to give my clients the resources that they need to make the proper decision. Okay, so one of the most common things that we hear as real estate agents is I found this school on GreatSchools.org. I always try to tell my clients that GreatSchools.org, while it may have some information, it's not going to have all the information that you need to make a smart decision, and it definitely doesn't consider every factor. So I always try to give my clients the information from the Texas Education website, and today we're going to walk through that. I'm going to show you exactly where to find the school ratings based on the state of Texas, based on STAR scores, based on dual language programs, based on how the schools are changing and impacting the students over the years. So let's get started doing that. So here we are on what I love to call the best resource if you're moving to Frisco, Texas. It's called Relocating, and the city hub is Frisco, Texas. So if you go down just a little bit, we're going to talk today about the school information. And here, if you click on View Schools, at the top, you notice that there's Frisco ISD, Little Elm ISD, Prosper, and Louisville. And a lot of people don't realize when they're buying homes in Frisco that Frisco ISD is not the only school district that students can go to. So you always want to check to make sure that if you're going to go to a school, that it's properly zoned to the school district that you want it to be. So make sure that's something that you check and confirm before you put an offer in on the home. But today we're going to talk about Frisco ISD. If you wanted just more information on Frisco ISD, you can click this link and it goes directly to the Frisco ISD School District website. We're not going to work with that today. Today we're going to talk about the test scores and all of the rating information. So let's get rid of that. Go back here. So if you click on this Texas School Report Cards link, it's going to take you to a website where it's pretty easy to go in and let's just search by school district. So let's talk about Frisco ISD. So put in Frisco, it's going to bring us to Frisco ISD. Now this is a district profile for all of Frisco ISD. So it's going to talk about, all of the 74 schools as a whole. Overall, the rating from the state is a 90 out of 100. So that tells you that Frisco ISD is one of the top rated school districts in the state. You can look here and you can say, tell me more, and it'll tell you exactly how the school is calculated that way. These have nothing to do with GreatSchool.org ratings, so just keep that in mind. And then when you're looking at additional details, you can also see that the school district over the years, let's just look back. I guess they didn't do it in 2021, 19, 20, but in 1819, they had an A. They were at a 93, which is great. And then you keep going, and it looks like they went up, and then they went down. But it does give you the overall performance over some years. And come down a little bit, and it'll show you that overall Frisco ISD student achievement measures for the STAR test is a 91 out of 100. You can click additional details. We'll do that in a moment. You also can look at the school the school progress, and it gives you information on how the school has changed in comparison to other districts over time. And then additional details here. If we go back up to student achievement, let's go to additional details. Remember, we're looking at Frisco ISD. Okay, and this gives you just like a snapshot of the STAR performance for Frisco ISD. We haven't got into a specific school yet, and we'll do that here in a minute, but this is a pretty good information. So if you're looking at, let's just look at the percentage of students who are approaching grade level or above. So this is kind of the lower rating that you can get on the STAR test. And then in the middle is the percentage of students meeting grade level or above. And then you have the master's level, right? So as you can see, most of the students are approaching grade level or above when it comes to reading, math, science, and social studies, right? When you look at the students who are a little bit higher on that end where they're meeting it or they're a little bit above, you can see the scores go down just a little bit here on these. And the level of students in Frisco ISD that are mastering these, reading, math, science, and social studies, obviously you got to compare this to another district, but here it's showing, 43% in math and 41% in science. So what you want to do is you want to look down here and go, okay, hey, I've got all of these students. This would be the students who are mastering, the reading, math, science, and social studies STAR test, which means they're probably mastering the subject in general. But if you look at it, it's saying, okay, in the Frisco district, 45% of the students are mastering all subjects, but the state average is 20%. Again, look at math, 43% for Frisco and 19% for the state. So this just gives a really good overall general view into how the school district is performing on the STAR test. This is just some additional information down here. 4-year graduation rate, Frisco ISD has a 98.8% rating. Overall state is 89.7. So you can dig into this a little bit on your own if you come to the website. But now let's talk about, we'll go back to the profile. So again, this is Frisco ISD. I'll just give you like a general view of, shows the enrollment, gives you the data that you need, race, ethnicity, and then some special education, bilingual learners. And then we look at the attendance rate. It'll give you the number of students per teacher in 22 and 23, how many staff, the teacher's salary. It shows the teacher's data over here, how many were a specific race or ethnicity. We also look about over here, the teachers by years of experience, and you can see that we have 1.3% of teachers with over 30 years. Now, I can't really tell you if that's good or not. If that's something that's important to you, you'll probably want to go to another school district and compare, which we can do that a little bit here shortly. But let's go in the compare. We're still in Frisco ISD. We haven't dug into any specific school yet, but we're just going to say, let's just compare Frisco ISD with another school district. So here we have Frisco ISD. Let's just type in, since we know Little Elm ISD also goes into the Frisco area. Let's do Little Elm, and then let's do Prosper. Okay. So this gives you kind of a big picture overall accountability on STAR performance here. It's showing Frisco 91%, Little Elm 74%, and Prosper 90%. And this was just the lower end, the ones that approach. The master's level in Frisco is 46%, in Little Elm it's 18%, and in Prosper it's 36%. And then you can see they all have pretty high graduation rates. But you can do this with any school districts. You can reset it and start over. So we'll go ahead and go back. All right, so now we've there's a lot of different things you can play with here. I mean, you can look at the school progress, just all kinds of information, finance, and all the things. There's also tools and reports. You can kind of just go in here, report cards. You can look at past years. But let's dig into a school. Let's just say that you're looking at a house and you're like, okay, I'm between this one, and I hear that Newman Elementary is better than this one. And you really want to know, based on data, what is the right answer for your family. So let's go in here and let's just look at Newman Elementary, see how they're performing. All right, so you can look up Newman Elementary. There you go. It shows that the school has an overall rating of a 95 out of 100. Here's the same information down to the school level, attendance rate, all the things that you really want to know. Now, what's important also is that on this school, they have academic achievement, designations for these specific items for the state of Texas. So they're really good at their academic achievement in science. And if you want more detail, just click this, and it gives you it's just showing that they get exceptional achievement in certain areas. So if that's something that's important to you, if you want a school that has like super high, science achievement, STEM, you want to make sure that you look down here on these levels. Another important thing that a lot of people like to dig into really are the STAR reports. Texas tends to put a lot of weight on those, and it's unfortunate for some people because they don't test well, but others, that's just kind of what they look over. So let's go over to the Student Achievement tab. So for Newman Elementary, we've got the STAR performance. So they measured a 95 out of 100. And here's some more, the top level data that you can see. They got looks like a higher than average overall for math compared to the district. So now we're looking at the school compared to the district ratings, which would be all the other elementary schools in Frisco. So you may want to look at that in detail. If reading and math and mastering those things are important to you at the elementary level, you want to go in here and see, okay, great, this school is higher in reading versus the entire Frisco ISD district, or science 54 to 41. And you can even click this to dig into the data, and it takes you to another website that shows the actual raw data from the 2023 STAR performance for Newman Elementary. They have not posted 24 yet. There's some kind of legal judicial rulings going on that I don't know anything about, but you can dig into that if you'd like to. But you can go down here, and it gives you like super in the weeds information on the percentage of children who are meeting certain things by they do it by different nationalities, and if that's important to you, all this information is here. And you can even go all the way down. I usually, whenever I have a client that's looking at a house in 2 different districts, I will send them the links to their specific school profiles, and then I'll also download. You can actually click download on the PDF here for the Texas STAR results for this school. Open it up, and it's something that you could send to somebody if you really want them to see it, because sometimes these things are hard to find. So let's click off of that. Let's just go back to let's compare Newman Elementary. So your client, you have 2 different houses, 2 different schools you'd like to look at, and we want to compare how Newman is doing to the other school that you are looking at. So let's just say you're looking at, Miller Elementary. Here we go, Frisco ISD. Make sure you're clicking the right school district, Miller Elementary, and here you go. So here's some just top level STAR performance. At Newman, you've got a 47% who are mastering the STAR overall. It doesn't give you like in the weeds details, but you can always go back to Miller Elementary and go, hey, where was this 33% low at or high at? It could be that their 33% was high in math, and that's where you want to really have your student focus. So that may be why you send your student to Miller instead of sending them to Newman Elementary, because Newman Elementary has a higher score in science, for instance. But if you see this, you probably would not see, if you go into GreatSchools.org, you're not going to see this level of detail. You're likely going to see that Miller Elementary might have rated a B and Newman was an A, and some of the things that Great Schools would have told you could have been based on reviews from parents and just information that is not at the level of detail that we're looking at here. So that is about it. I just wanted to give a really quick overview. And again, you can go to relozy.com. And if you go back here, just in general, there's all kinds of information about Frisco. You can go in, you can ask a local, you can actually ask, there's a chat bot that you can ask about anything in Frisco, and you'll get 24/7 answers. And then you can explore neighborhoods. You could actually ask a local a question. So if you're not from the area and you really just want to hear from somebody who lives here, and you're like, hey, I have a question about, how many restaurants are in the area, you could send a question and ask them. You can search for homes. There's all kinds of local events. Another important thing here is that you can look up crime statistics, entertainment and dining. If you need some city services, just basically when you're moving, you need to change your address, your driver's license, all the things here, pet registration. This is a good resource for you. So I hope you enjoyed the overview, and I really hope that whenever you're choosing a school, that you choose it based off of subjective data that you can look at and not that GreatSchools.org is giving you.